experience. Like, I felt as prepared as we could be, but I also felt like extremely nervous, like it was my kid playing the main event final table.
Definitely the simulations don't prepare you for being on that stage with that pressure.
The chants of every different section and the signs and the energy level was just awesome.
I was definitely pretty hyped coming out. I mean, I'm not used to a crowd like that when you sit down at a poker table. But in the hand, like, I don't remember paying attention at all to the crowd or having it mess with anything I was thinking.
Russ was totally comfortable. Russ sat there like he belonged there. Funny, Russ played 5 of the first 7 hands, and you know, we hadn't talked about that. That wasn't something that we had decided to do.
I just had hands to raise. I had ace queen a few times and ace jack.
It actually was more hands than Russ had played in any simulation. Russ had never done that. So when Russ came out of the gate firing, I wasn't sure if it was like the reverse nerves, that he was just comfortable and felt like he could take advantage.
I figured people might have thought I was pressing, especially after losing the first spot, so I was conscious of that.
He actually net lost like 3 million chips over that course of hands. You know, I actually wanted him to kind of back off a little bit, calm down, relax, settle in.
The flop comes 7-5-4, and Stephen G bets about half pot, and Greg folds, and I call. Turn is a jack, and he bets again, fairly large, and I decide to call again because my hand's just way too strong to fold at this point. And the river comes a 3, completing a straight if you have a 6. And he decides to go all in.
11,350,000. And all in for Stephen G.
Oh my God, look at it. This is bullshit.
I thought about this decision for a very long time because it's easily the biggest decision I've made in my life, I think, period. I didn't think if he had like kings or aces, he would shove all in on this river. Like, he'd be too concerned about surviving in the tournament and not risking a stack where I can easily have a 6.
And even Russ's sister said, Jason, what would you do with aces here? And Jason goes, fold. And Dirk goes, fold. And his sister goes, well, he knows that, right? And we're like, yes, he knows to fold aces here.
I spent a lot of time analyzing the hand, but I also like analyzed what my emotions about this, you know, because if I lose this pot, I'd have 4 million chips left, but I guess I just didn't believe him at all, you know. I just didn't believe his bet on the river. Just didn't make any sense to me. Oh, I was looking at Steve G, and Steve G just like bobbed his head, and I was like, yes. It was definitely my proudest poker moment of my life.
That kind of call on that stage with that much pressure, it was unbelievable.
Crazy bluff, absurd call. We're happy about it.
Finding out that Stephen G had king-queen on the river in the very first hand when he just had king-high and, you know, bet, finding out that he was capable of doing that on hand 1 kind of told us that he was here to play and here to win.
I found out he bluffed the first hand based on the fact the TV showed his hole cards.
Information that usually you wouldn't think they have these hands, but they actually do have these hands. So it helped. I think it helped Russ construct some reasonable, tendency models out of that information.
Open folded or check folded or something, I guess. Greggy had King Jack and Sylvia won with King Jack, just by betting. Greggy opened middle position with Queen 5, just so you know he's opening that widely.
If he had called and was wrong with the 2 queens against Stephen G, he would have had 3 or 4 million chips and almost been out.
After I made the call, I was just happy I won the pot. I didn't really consider the fact now I have 40 million chips. I could easily get into top 3 in the main event. I just wasn't thinking about the money at that point. I was just thinking about the fact, I get excited like that when I make a call, for $500 and it's right, So then I started to realize, this is a huge stack. Hopefully I can, finish off this main event and win. I started running card dead, and I kept losing all these small pots where, I think I played them all correctly. It's just the other guy had a better hand every time. And I just slowly whittled down hand after hand. I didn't win any sizable pots for the past 4 hours of the tournament. But when it was 4-handed, I ended up raising ace-9 on Ballsinger, and we shoved all in. And I ended up calling for my tournament. And he had ace-king, and that was it for me.
It's really close. It's a really close decision. The decision is really based on feel and table dynamic and how Jake is playing. So it's really tough to say, but I think his call is fine. After he busted, I just told him that it was okay to be upset. For the cameras, you smile and you say that you're happy to be there, but there's nothing wrong with being upset.
Obviously, you don't dream about getting 4th, you dream about winning. I understand what a punch in the stomach it was for us to get 4th.
It's the first of many to come, I promise.
And if you want to do bank wire, just have your routing number and account number.
We're going to take it all cash, don't worry.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
I'm just kind of at peace with what happened, it's not haunting me at all, I just don't think there's anything I could have done to really change the result.
For 3 months, I pretty much woke up every day and I said, what is the best thing to do today for Russ in preparation for the main event final table? And then when it was over, it's kind of like, all right, now what?
There is a sense of relief, when it's over, just because this day's been hanging over our heads for months. We wish we could have lasted longer in the tournament, obviously, but yeah, you do feel a little relief.
Every quality that you need to be a good professional poker player, Russ has. He is emotionally calm, he's got a very analytical mind, he's got a great work ethic.
Yeah, I've definitely learned a lot the past few months. I'm definitely the best poker player I've ever been.
I really sincerely do believe that Russell is going to be a force in the poker world.